Welcome to the Enterprise Thought Leadership Podcast, where we explore the latest in enterprise trends, tech, and strategy with the top leaders and influencers shaping the future.
Hi, and welcome to Onstage with Enterprise Thought Leaders. I am Tejdeep Desai, Technology Editor at B2B Technology Publications, Enterprise Talk and Talk Dev. We have engaging conversations with global thought leaders and industry experts, reaching over 1.3 million business leaders worldwide. So May 15th was Global Accessibility Awareness Day, a movement that reminds us how critical digital access and inclusions are, especially as the nature of work continues to evolve across hybrid, remote, and global environments. With AI now playing a key role in shaping the workplace experience, the conversation around inclusive design has never been more relevant. Today, we speak with Justin Cravalho, Vice President of Product Design at Smartsheet, an enterprise-grade work management platform powered by AI. Justin, it's a pleasure to have you here.
Likewise, it's really great to be here. Thank you so much.
Okay. So, Justin, as you have led creative and product design teams at major organizations and worked across a variety of industries and platforms. So, before we dive into the topic of accessibility, I'd love to hear your perspective on how design landscape has evolved over the years, especially with rapid pace of technology and AI integrations.
When it comes to considering accessibility as far as design goes, some of the biggest factors of the last few years is what we're feeling right now around the disruption of AI, as an example. AI is going to radically transform the way that we think about customers and users who have disabilities interacting with software dramatically. One of the aspects that we're really focused on is voice and the importance of voice in being able to drive experiences that are going to be much more accessible going forward. The volume and variety of impediments or disabilities that many of our customers experience could be massively mitigated by tools like AI. So clearly, this transformation is coming towards enterprise software in a meaningful way, and not the less is accessible considerations around transformation in software.
Right. Thanks for sharing that. So let's now shift to the inclusive design. Something that's becoming foundational for workplaces productivity and employee well-being as well. So my first question to you is, with the growing focus of inclusive experiences, do you think enterprises are truly prioritizing accessibility, or is it still more of a checkbox exercise?
You know, you would look at it on the surface and say that 2% of the population works with software incurring and working with a disability. So whether that's visual disabilities or auditory or even learning disabilities. But I would say the number is much wider when you think about the considerations around dyslexia or ADHD or considerations that we all live with in a normal day. The accessible experience of the future is really about being able to deliver engagement and meaningfulness across the board. When it comes to enterprise level software, I would say that many companies have a mandate, ourselves included, around making sure that we are at least WCAG compliant in the US, hitting the EU Accessibility Act in both EMEA and the EU, and making sure that we are at least driving minimal usable experiences for that population of individuals. Are we doing it at a level that I think is industry leading and class leading? I would say that is a case-by-case basis. I know that Smartsheet's expectation is that we are driving always from a position of making sure that our experiences are at least at minimum AA compliant.
So when designing for accessibility in the enterprises, what principles or starting points do you follow, like on your personal level? What comes to your mind when something that you have been planning for, or the project that you're starting in?
Yeah. When it comes to designing for accessibility, we follow a very similar pattern that you would for many UX principle-driven experiences, and that is defining a set of heuristics that make it usable, approachable, intuitive, understandable, and decipherable. When it comes to focus specifically on accessibility, we want to make sure that we are always making it keyboard accessible, visually accessible with contrast, and ensuring that there is a level of coherence and understandability when a customer using tools like JAWS are able to move through the experience and move through those ARIA labels, as an example, very fluidly. So we spend a lot of time ensuring that there is correlation between both the design that we're creating and the engineering implementation of that, right? So that when a customer is delivered a piece of software, it actually works as intended. But it starts with having strong heuristics.
Right. Also, coming to the other point, how do you approach building and maintaining a long-term accessibility roadmap across teams and product lines?
That is a very interesting question. It is, I will say, in short, not easy. Due to the nature of any software platform, when you're in a continuous integration, continuous development lifecycle, that means at any given point in time, your features may or may not hit every aspect of the criteria that you're trying to drive from a WCAG compliance perspective. It's just inherent that you release a new feature and it may not be 100% compliant day one. And so when it comes to prioritizing accessibility as part of our life cycle, it is about doing a lot of quality assurance, review, and understanding before it reaches our customers' hands, and taking in customer feedback when they do get it, because there are so many different customers with disabilities interacting with our software, especially in an enterprise environment. It's monumentally important that customer feedback and customer sentiment is being considered and acknowledged as part of our roadmap. So we do a lot of effort to engage with both our customers and through our sales teams to understand what is driving their perception of value from an accessibility perspective. As an example, many of our customers work in the education space, and education, as well as federal systems, really have a very strong mandate around expectation of accessible experiences. We routinely sit down and talk with their teams around understanding the importance of what is the impediments that they're seeing or the disabilities that they're seeing in their systems, and helping them understand what our roadmap is. We spend a great deal of time ensuring that they understand from their perspective when they're going to see improvements to the experiences so that they can make informed decisions about what's best for their users.
Also, I would like to ask you, what are you currently working on? Is there something innovative coming, or there is something out of the box which are you thinking will make sense in the coming time?
Yeah, we, Smartsheet is a collaborative work management platform that services hundreds of thousands of users in a variety of use cases, whether that's project management, process management, or business management. Customers using Smartsheet have a variety of use cases that they're bringing to their system. So one of the things that we're very keen on from an accessibility perspective is ensuring that the roles and responsibilities in organizations can be reflected in the workflows that we're producing. So we have recently released an overhaul to the overall user experience in the form of a new design system, as well as new surfaces for interaction in table and board and timeline, all of which are designed from the ground up to be accessible experiences. We have dramatically overhauled our approach to making sure that our lifecycle and product development teams are really focused on delivery of experiences that are accessible day one, hour one. And so our focus has been about delivering new experiences that are already 2.1 compliant.
I was just scrolling through your LinkedIn and I found a post where you were appreciating your UX team. So, what UX team plays a role in this whole process? What do you think?
Yeah. When it comes to accessibility, the UX team is the frontline team. If they're not evangelizing and creating experiences that are inherently accessible and ensuring that their work matches all of the requirements associated with contrast and usability and decipherability, we will fail as an organization. So the UX team is frontline ensuring that everything that we touch is going to be usable at a 2.1 level and a AA standard. Their responsibilities are to ensure that the experience as designed can be navigable in all situations by people with disabilities.
Right. The last question to you. What tangible benefits do you see when accessibility becomes a core part of workplace design for both employees and organizations?
That was a fabulous question. The benefit over time will be that the experience gets better for everyone. not just persons with disabilities, but the broad audience, because we make that experience more intuitive, more decipherable, more understandable for everyone. Organizations have complex business needs, and a collaborative work management like Smartsheet needs to get simpler over time. I would say, in addition with that, with the introduction of AI and what we talked about at the top around being able to employ voice and suggested action and proactive engagement with AI, means that persons with disabilities and the broad swath of usability and users in Smartsheet will just get better experiences over time. The more we adhere to the standards, the better it becomes for everyone.
Right. Also, you mentioned about AI. So, like, how does AI helps the team that develops your tools and also for the users who are using it? How does AI plays a role in this? Like, is there any difference that you have seen in the past years?
It's interesting from a user experience perspective and from an accessibility perspective. When you're able to use a natural language conversational prompt, right, to elicit the intent that you're trying to drive through a piece of software like Smartsheet, it becomes much easier to understand what it is your intent is and how the system is going to process that and render an experience around it. It's far easier for us to use our voices and use prompt engineering than it is for us to point and click. And over time, that friction that we have inherently come to understand of natural point and click software will just lessen, right? So AI is going to transform the way that customers in the enterprise or consumer are going to interact with software in a dramatic way. And we're at the forefront of that.
Right. Also, like, which industries do you think will be more at beneficial side?
When it comes to AI in the enterprise workspace, generally speaking, if I keep this focus on an accessibility perspective, it will absolutely be the government agencies. It will be learning in healthcare. It will be education. It will be any regulated industry that has a requirement and mandate. Now, the beauty of working with AI is that the more we interact with it, the higher trust we gain in it, right? And those industries have very strong protocols and expectations around regulatory requirements for interacting with software. And so it's only going to get better from that perspective. And I think those industries are going to be the most beneficially impacted from an accessibility perspective with AI.
Okay. Justin, thank you for joining us. Thanks for sharing these insights with us.
Likewise, thank you so much for the time. I truly appreciate it.
Yeah. Anyhow, it's clear that accessibility isn't just like a good design; it's smart business idea, and it has to be implemented, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you so much, Justin.
Take care.
Thank you so much for being with us. Please do follow us on social media for regular updates and new content.